Hey YouTube, Justin here, and I am back. I'm going to show you how to make this. Hey guys, Justin Van Ferrari here. I am coming back at you with a brand new video, and I'm super excited because today is Trap Tuesday. Okay, so I'm not going to make it Trap Tuesday. It is Tuesday, but I don't want to commit to that. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you've seen this bad boy right here. I call it my quick release peg. It's a primitive trap trigger mechanism that I came up with about 1.5 years or so ago. And I'm going to link in the description another trap that I did with this. It was a Deadfall trap, and I've got another one here. This is the exact same thing, obviously thicker in diameter, but it's the exact same thing. You've got your notch here. This notch isn't quite as big and pronounced. You got your notch in here, and then you have this end rounded. Okay, so essentially the same thing, right? Does not matter. It was just what I had, and I didn't feel like cutting it down even further than that. So we are coming at you with a spring snare, well, a modified spring snare that really doesn't have a spring pull. I'm going to use a deadfall weight in the place of a spring pull. I actually like deadfall weight. Whenever I can get away with it, I prefer it because I've noticed that over time, if you leave that spring snare in the down position, it's going to lose its springiness, right? And so I prefer the deadfall weight. It accomplishes the same thing. It's just a mechanism to provide tension against the snare. All right, so here we go. I got my quick release peg. I've got my roll bank line. That ought to be ample bank line for this project. I've got my rock that we're going to use as a deadfall weight to provide tension on the snare, and I'm going to droop it right over this Y branch in this tree right here. So this will be absolutely perfect. All right, step one, I'm just going to tie my bank line on my deadfall weight. I'm just going to do this just like I was wrapping a Christmas present. All right, you've seen this done. If you don't know how to do this, ask your wife to teach you. She can teach you how to tie this knot right here. I'm just going to slip it under here just to provide just a little bit more security, and back around one more time. I'm just doing a quick release knot here so I can recover my bank line. There we go. Step one complete. All right, this is where we have to do just a little bit of measuring here. Just gonna slip this over. Got my deadfall weight. Oh yeah, that's gonna provide plenty of tension against my snare. All right, so I want this to start up here as high as I can get it. Okay, and I am just going to put an overhand knot like so. Does not have to be anything purty. All right, so there we go. Now this knot is going to become very tight when it's put under pressure. So if you want a knot that's easier to take out, maybe a bowline would be a good. You just want some sort of a knot that's going to provide a loop, but it's not going to allow for it to slide. It can't be a slip knot, okay? All right, so the next step then is we're going to take this loose end and we're going to feed it through as though we're making a snare, okay? We won't make the snare, but what we need to do is we need to tie this off, all right? This needs to be a pretty good sized loop because we're going to want it to be able to slip off of our peg very easily, okay? So I am just going to tie this off just with another overhand knot right here. Okay, tuck that out. We do not want this to slide. And then I'm going to tie a third overhand knot that needs to be equal to this other knot. Okay, I'm going to take this. This one can be smaller. It just needs to fit around the end of your peg. Okay, so does not have to be perfect. This right here, that's close enough. Essentially what we're doing is we're making a Y. Okay, so where this 7 notch is, that's going to rest here, and this one is going to rest there. All right, does that make sense? Perfect. All right, so at this point, here's what you should have. You should have your deadfall weight connected to a Y with 2 loops. Okay, now at this point I have to cut the bank line, but I want to make sure that I have plenty of extra, so I'm going to do it more than double the length of the current piece, because we need to add a counter support to keep our deadfall weight suspended in the air. Okay, that's what's going to provide tension once this snare is done. Okay, again, I'm just going to do a quick release knot. So now it's time to test it out and see what length we need to cut the other. So I'm going to suspend my deadfall weight. All right, it's about where I want it. So I'm going to take this string up from the bottom and leave a little extra. I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. All right, so we've got this that's attached to the bottom, and this is going to, and I'm just going to use a Clove hitch, a kind of a modified Clove hitch. I'll show you. So there's the Clove hitch. You just basically pinch, twist, and slide it on twice. Okay, that's technically a Clove hitch. I'm going to do it a third time. I'm going to put this tag, make sure that tag's right through there. So that will provide ample support. There we go. That's not going anywhere. Now it's time to set the trap. Just going to take our deadfall weight. I'm going to grab onto the large loop, okay, the largest of the two, and I'm going to put it on the end that has the 7 notch. Okay, this is going to keep it from sliding up towards the center. Okay, on the small loop, we're going to stick that on. But remember, all this extra that goes down to the spring snare, we're going to pull that over the front of the quick release peg. This is where it's better to have one that's not whittled down. Okay, and then I'm going to take the loop and I'm going to put that over top like so. Okay, does that make sense? So when the snare is triggered, it's going to pull this loop off of the end, and that's what's going to provide tension against the snare. All right, makes sense? Now, as with all these quick release peg traps or triggers, you can adjust the sensitivity by sliding this back and forth on the peg. Okay, most of the time you want it nice right on the edge, as close to a hairline trigger as you can get. I'm going to leave it out a little bit. I can adjust that when the snare is set, but that way it's pretty secure at this point, and I don't accidentally drop this weight on my leg or my hand or something. So there we go. The Deadfall weight is suspended. All right, and the trap is ready to go. All we need to do is throw on the snare. All right, so here we go. Just going to adjust the sensitivity of this. Okay. All right, so here we go. So when a little critter walks through here, gets caught in this snare, it triggers it. Pretty sweet, hey? Now let's watch it in slow motion. All right, so a little critter's coming through here, gets himself caught in the trap. Well guys, that's how it's done. That is really all there is to it. I love these quick release pegs because they are so versatile. You can use them in so many different primitive trap scenarios. So if you'd like more info on how to use these in a specific scenario, why don't you leave that in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to work it out for you and show you how truly versatile these are. If you haven't had a chance to watch this video right here, this is the same quick release peg, this one right here, in a deadfall scenario. Okay, it's an example of how to use it in a deadfall scenario. And if you're watching this video at the beginning of May, make sure you check out the giveaway, because I am giving away a Katadyn bee-free water filter. You need to check out that video to see how it's done. As always, if you find this helpful, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and so when I upload more videos, you'll be the first to know. Thanks so much for all your support, and we'll be back at you pretty soon.